A new teaser for Squid Game Season 3 just dropped and man, I'm freaking out. There are so many details in this trailer, especially about the games, Gi-hun, and some other players like Player 222, Player 149, and her son, 007, and obviously much more. Want some theories for Squid Game Season 3? Then let's go. I was so hyped for Netflix to finally release something from Squid Game Season 3, and my excitement is still through the roof. I'm a huge fan of this series, seriously. If you just found this channel and haven't seen our theory videos on the show yet, I'll leave the playlist here for you to check out. But let's get into this analysis. Right at the start of the teaser, we get an answer to one of the images Netflix had posted on social media, the coffin image. And contrary to what many people thought, myself included, I even had a whole theory about it. Inside the coffin isn't Yong-bae, Gi-hun's best friend who was eliminated by the frontman during the failed rebellion. In fact, the person inside the coffin is Gi-hun himself. I never imagined it would be him in there, and that's actually really cool because it brings a strong symbolism. The frontman sending Gi-hun in a coffin in front of all the players is not only a way to intimidate them by showing he has full control over the games, it also suggests something deeper. Like, even in death, you can't escape the games. I control you even after death. Or I decide when you die. And Gi-hun wakes up with a terrible expression. I found his face a bit off in that scene, which might suggest that his spirit to fight the games is breaking, at least for the moment. After Yong-bae's death, he could be shaken and depressed, and that might lead to another powerful symbolic twist. Possibly exactly what the frontman wants. Gi-hun coming back reborn as a different player, a more obedient player who will follow the rules. And following the rules and having fair games are the things the frontman values the most in the Squid Game setup. The next revealing detail is about the upcoming game, that is the gumball machine game that many of us have been talking about. That gumball machine appeared in Netflix's 2025 promo, and now it's confirmed as part of the game. And it could be a very interesting one, as rumors suggested the gumball machine will divide the players into two teams depending on the color of the ball they get, red or blue. I want you to pay close attention to the symbols in the room where the players pick up the gumballs. There are two symbols, one of a lock and the other of a knife or small sword. We also see two separate teams, and this could reveal important details about the game. It will likely be some kind of tag game. We've already theorized about this game here on the channel. Each team will have a role. One team runs and the other chases. Most likely the blue team will be the runners and the red team, the chasers. The blue team is associated with the lock symbol. Why a lock? Probably because the blue players will need to find and unlock a door or a padlock somewhere in a maze to escape and win the game. On the other hand, the red team is linked to the knife. They'll need to hunt down the blue players and prevent them from finding and unlocking the escape. In other words, the reds have to hunt down the blues to win. There are two possible setups. It could be one red versus one blue, and the player can win on their own. Or the entire teams are inside the maze and they have to win as a group. For example, the red team must eliminate all the blues for a team win. Or someone from the blue team has to find and unlock the lock to save the others. One scene that confirms this gameplay is when Gi-hun is walking through the maze. There are blood trails on the floor, and if you slow it down, you'll notice a body behind him. The question is, did Gi-hun just take someone down and is now hunting the next blue? There's also a really interesting scene that may reveal another rule. The one where Hyunju is in a fighting stance in front of someone wearing a red vest. That shows the blues might be allowed to fight back against red team attacks, and honestly, I feel sorry for the person going up against Hyunju. In case you forgot, Hyunju is probably the most combat-trained person in the game. She was part of Korea's special forces. We can also see some players and the colors of the balls they picked. Hyunju, blue Minsu, red player 222, the pregnant woman, red Namgyu, red player 388, Dai Ho, blue player 100, red player 333, MG coin, blue. And now, the most tragic reveal, player 007. The old lady's son got blue and his mother, player 149, got red. So yes, we're getting a mother-son matchup in this game. Another heartbreaking matchup will be player 222 versus player 333, ex-lovers facing off. Remember, 222's child is with 333, but I think Namgyu is going to get involved in this fight. He'll probably hunt down player 333 in this game. I'd say he might go after Minsu instead, but Minsu is on the same team. Will Minsu still help Namgyu after killing player 380? I believe this is the very first game at the start of the season, and it's already going to be emotional and brutally intense. Now we need to talk about the details of soldier number 11, who's about to cause absolute chaos for the game organizers. She appears walking through the air ducts, probably trying to gain access to something since triangles like her don't have that kind of clearance. Only the squares have full access to everything. Right after that, there's an extremely revealing scene. Someone is scanning the chip on another person's ear. And that person being scanned is definitely player 246, the one who was supposedly dead. Rumors and leaks suggested that Soldier 11 actually let him live, and the one doing the scanning is number 11 herself. Why is she doing that? Remember that leaked photo from her Instagram showing both of them dressed as Squid Game guards? Well, she needs to register player 246's chip and modify it so it no longer identifies him as a player, but instead as one of the game's soldiers. They often use that scanner to confirm someone's identity to prove that the person under the mask is who they claim to be. So number 11 could be doing this to ensure that 246's infiltration goes smoothly. She also shows up at the exit of the air duct holding a gun, which might be directly related to Gi-hun. Gi-hun finally appears wearing a diving suit, and it seems like the guy has finally made it to the game island. I used to theorize that number 11 would be the one to bring Gi-hun to the games, and Gi-hun's infiltration might be happening through that same air duct where number 11 was. We also have the presence of the VIPs again, and this time there's an interesting twist. There are female VIPs. In the first season, they were all men, but now we're seeing women among them. There are several rumors suggesting that there will be an extremely powerful VIP, possibly the mastermind behind everything. Sort of the big boss of the entire operation. If I had to guess, I'd say it's the bald guy wearing the lion mask. The teaser put a lot of focus on him, and the lion mask symbolizes power. Plus, there are also rumors that a Squid Game spin-off is already being negotiated by Netflix, and this spin-off wouldn't take place in Korea. It would be set in the United States. While this VIP does seem to have American features, now here's an absolutely crazy detail. The teaser ends with player 222 crying. The screen fades to black, the Squid Game logo appears, but it doesn't end there. After that, the screen stays black and we hear the sound of a baby crying. Player 222 is actually going to give birth in the middle of the games. And how is that going to play out? Will she survive? Will someone from the game staff help her? Will the frontman step in to help? He always seemed concerned about her when he was undercover. My head is already racing with theories. And of course, I'll bring all of them to you. The final season of Squid Game premieres on June 27th. It's almost here, and man, my hype is through the roof. I can't wait. Come on, June! And you, let me know in the comments what you think.